come on camera. So hello, we have Marsha and Kathy with us today, live with us. And they are about to unmute and come on video with us. Hello.
Hi, Marissa.
Hello. Let's see. So Marsha's good, and Kathy, how are you doing there? I asked to unmute. There we go.
Hi.
Hello. Once again, we are live on Facebook right now. We have people joining us, and anybody watching, please go ahead and share this. Go ahead and share it to any groups you may be a part of. If you are an impacted family member, go ahead and share your loved one's name as well and your location as we speak about Joshua here with his family. And so I'll go ahead and introduce the show real quickly. And today we're doing it a little differently. We are live on my personal Facebook. We are sharing it to the Strength page. And yeah, we asked you guys to share this. We are on episode 29. So this series started in November. We highlight different victims of police homicides from across the nation. We have been going once a week with different homicide victims, with their families coming on and sharing the true stories of their loved ones who were killed at the hands of police. So this week we have Marsha with us and Kathy. Marsha is the mother, and Kathy is the grandmother of Joshua. So if you two ladies can just go ahead and come on, introduce your loved one and introduce yourselves briefly and your location as well.
I'm Joshua's mother. We reside in Wisconsin. My son was killed by the Vice Crossings Police Department. Go ahead, Kathy.
And I'm Joshua's grandmother, and I live in Wisconsin. And Joshua lived with me for a while, and I miss him dearly.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies, for being here. It's never easy to come on and talk about our loved ones. It's a lot. But I know Marsha has watched the show week after week with us and got to see a lot of other families share their stories and speak about their loved ones. So now it's your turn to talk about your son. And before we continue, for anybody who may not know me yet, my name is Marissa Barrera, and I started this series. I started Voices of Strength, which is also a nonprofit organization, and we help support impacted families. I am an impacted sister as well. My brother, Michael Barrera, was murdered by Woodland Police in 2017 in our hometown of Woodland, California. I started this to give families a platform to share the true stories behind their loved ones, to share their testimonies, and to let people know what happened to their loved one, and also so we can share who our loved ones were. Because many times when people are killed by police, there's a false narrative released. There's a whole bunch of other things that come along with that. They really attack our loved ones besides physically by killing them. They also do their characters. In the media, they release false narratives, and it goes on and on. And these are real stories. So we're here every week. And today we are talking to this family from Wisconsin. I'm over here in California in Sacramento, and we've hit different states. We will be doing this for the rest of the year. I'm not sure. I committed to a year, and I'm not sure if we will continue for 2022 or what we're going to do, but we're still going to be here with the impacted families. So let's go ahead and start talking about your guys' loved one. And while we do so, I will be sharing some photos in a video form that Marcia sent me. So they're different photos of Joshua, different family. And so that will be playing as you ladies share. So first, we always like to talk about the loved one, and we're going to share anything you guys want, whether it's their hobbies or funny things about them, stories. We dedicate the first part of the show to really just talking about your loved one. So whoever wants to go first, ladies, go ahead and take it away.
Kathy, you want to go ahead?
No, you can go.
Okay. Marissa, you already know I told you I was going to highlight one of my happiest, saddest memories of him was his little rendezvous, as I call it, to Florida. My son was a recovering addict, and he had gotten angry with me and decided that he wanted to go to Florida. Well, I told him it wasn't a good idea. Well, he ended up in jail. And that's where his recovery began. He came home and he was sober ever since the day he had gotten arrested in Florida. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He loved his son more than anything in the world. His son was his everything. His brother, his sister, his grandma. He was like the rock that held everybody together. Life has definitely changed without him. His whole life revolved around hunting and fishing. Obviously, for all of you that have me on Facebook, know you see his pictures. It's all about hunting and fishing. He was an outdoors person. He was a family person. By anything but violent. He loved his sister. He loved his brother. Him and his brother were best friends. Kathy, anything you want to share?
He had a sense of humor.
Yeah, right.
When he was a teenager, he found out that there was $100 for a race around Lake Winnebago, which is almost 100 miles, and the first person that won would get $100. So he decided to enter. And he got as far as, I think, Menasha, because he cramped up. But he loved to bike.
Life without him, the love for his son was, I can't explain to anybody what his son meant to him.
If that's the point you want me to stop at any of the pictures, feel free to let me know. Okay, Marcia and Kathy?
Okay. Obviously, you see by his pictures, it's all about hunting, fishing, and his son. That was his whole life. Some of the stuff he used to do. Marissa's life has definitely been a total disaster without him.
Yeah, and through these pictures, you see a father, and
he looks just like his dad.
How old is he now?
13.
Oh my goodness.
He was 10 when this occurred. But obviously, Joshua struggled for 5 years with addiction. He got sober. Then he was struggling with mental health issues. and he had come home. He had just moved back home the week before this had transpired. We had a few encounters with law enforcement prior to this. One was trying to retrieve his property from the girlfriend. And the police told him that they wouldn't give him his belongings back. So he just walked away from it.
Is Kate, sorry to interrupt, is Caitlin a family member?
Yeah, she's his sister.
Okay. Yeah, I just seen it pop up. So I'm going to let her in right now. Okay.
Okay.
Hope she wasn't waiting for long, but you can go ahead and continue to share, and then we'll let her come on and share in a minute.
Okay. Like I said, we had a few encounters with law enforcement prior to this. But I don't want to get too much into that if Katie's going to share some of what she wants to share about her brother. Like I said, he was an all-around great kid. He had nothing but respect for everybody. The love he had was, he would give you the shirt off his back. There's, without a doubt, if he had it and you needed it, he would give it to you. Or he would find a way to give it to you. Wouldn't he, Kathy?
Yes.
Sucks. Did Katie get on, Marissa? Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You want to share anything about your brother?
Yeah. Other than he was a goofball, every time he'd come home from work thinking like cow shit. Kate, step up back. Kate, crack my toes. That boy would never harm a fly off the wall. Ever. That's why it's kind of bullshit that they said that he was a threat when clearly Down syndrome looking ass Mo was the one who was actually a fucking threat. Because you can't tell me there was clearly somebody directly, probably like 200 feet behind Josh on the same side where Mo shot at Josh, that person would have not got hit. And that explains why
Katie, we haven't gotten into all that yet.
That's why everybody was like, are you hit or are you okay? Because they know Josh was already hit. They already knew that. So why are you saying that, are you hit or are you okay? Because there was somebody directly behind Josh.
We haven't gotten into all the details to that, Katie.
Close to it.
Where'd Marissa go?
You gotta swipe.
Sorry, I realized I was muted. I was
like, we didn't even get into all that. I was trying to explain to her we didn't even get into all that.
Oh, it's totally fine. And I was
she's an angry sister, just like you, Marissa.
Yeah. And we want to hear from her too. We want to hear from family members. And it's good to see multiple family members on here as well. So you guys speaking up for your loved one, Joshua. So we could get into it. Whoever wants to start. Marsha, you already just shared that there were some prior run-in just prior to that. So you don't have to get into that, but go ahead and take it away wherever you want to start. I know it's a lot.
I'll start out with the day of. Apparently, Wednesday morning seemed to be ordinary like any other day. He got up, he went for his run apparently at some point went to the Kaukauna Police Department to try to retrieve his firearm. Again, they told him they weren't giving it to him. I didn't find any of this out until August. But apparently he had gone there first, and then he had come home. Well, at 12:30, he had told me and Katie, he's like, Mom, I'm going to go get my wallet from the Appleton Police Department. I lost it. They have it. I'll be back. I love you. Little to my knowledge, that was the last time I was going to see my child alive. He left, and typically when I call him or text him, he usually calls me or texts me back within an hour. Well, the 4 o'clock breaking news, there was a fatality on the Trestle Trail Bridge. I didn't think anything of it. And I texted his stepmom, and I'm like, some nutcase had gotten shot on the bridge again, because this isn't the first episode on that bridge. So I texted her, and then at 5 o'clock breaking news, again, they identified a 25-year-old male from Kaukauna. Well, then I started getting a bad gut feeling. I don't know what it was. And I started texting him, and he didn't text me back. Well, the 6 o'clock breaking news, then I was blowing up his phone, like blowing it up. I probably called him 70 times within an hour and a half. I got no response. Then I started getting really worried. And at 9:30, there's a knock on the door. And they had asked if I was Marcia. And I'm like, yeah. They said, are you Josh Kamal's mom? And I said, yeah. And as soon as they identified themselves as so-and-so and so-and-so from the Department of Justice, I'm like, you guys shot my child. You guys killed my child. She's like, well, how do you know? And then she's like, well, your son was involved in an officer-involved shooting, and he did not survive. I'm like, where is he? And they said, he's in Milwaukee. I said, oh. So then I started talking to his stepmom at the time, and they dug up dirt on my son for 2 hours with their dad before they told him he was dead. They were trying to get a bad history on him, talking about his drug habit. And 2 hours later, they tell him he was dead. They waited 2 hours. So then, obviously, I want to know why they shot him. I want to know where they shot him. They won't tell me anything. Well, we finally got to go ahead on Thursday to go ahead and make funeral arrangements for him. We went to the funeral home on Friday. They had him covered from his chin to his feet. We weren't allowed to touch him because we had no idea how many times they had shot him. We're like, this is pretty unfair. So we leave the funeral home, make the arrangements to have him cremated. I waited till the middle of June for them to cremate my son because they kept telling me the Department of Justice wouldn't release his body. I said, what the fuck does the Department of Justice have to do with this shit? They're no longer responsible for him. Finally, I called the fucking victim witness coordinator, and she's gonna tell me that he should have been cremated already. We had a meeting with the Department of Justice. Assholes. They are not your friends. I promise you. The DOJ is not your friends. We go into this room with the victim witness coordinator, Kathy, me, Kate, and his stepmom. They proceed to tell me, I can't remember. Oh, I had asked, did he suffer? That's all I wanted to know was, did my son suffer? this jackass gonna get up and tell me, oh, I stood above him as he took his last breath. Well, you did? Then they tell us they shot him with an AR-15. They wouldn't tell me how many times they shot him. They can't tell me that. So I waited till August 1st to find out how many times they shot him. And then he's going to have the nerve to tell me, oh, we're in a public place. You need to calm down. Really? Asshole. You shot my child in a public park. But that's okay.
Wow, I cannot believe that. Wow. I mean, everything, but just extra, like
how are you? You done killed my child. How are you going to tell me to calm down? We're in a public place, but your officer's out there with a fucking rifle in a park with kids in it? I didn't understand that. So then time goes on and I'm freaking out because I had to wait again, of course, for my son to be cremated. So I wait another 2 weeks.
My goodness.
So I'm like, all right. Well, I kept asking and asking, what is taking so long? What is taking so long for these results to come back? Oh, we're waiting on the toxicology report. I said, oh, we're waiting on the toxicology report to see if you can pin it on him being on drugs. And I told everybody from day number 1, my son was not under the influence of any drugs. I know my son better than anybody. So we waited for the toxicology report. And then a week before they come back, there's a big ass article in the paper, missing pieces waiting on toxicology report. We did a toxicology report in Milwaukee at the medical examiner's office, but all that showed was that he had THC, nicotine, and caffeine in his system. So they decide to take it a step further, and they are going to send it to Quantico, to the feds. That's why I had to wait so long. They sent it for a second toxicology report, and there was nothing in there.
Sounds like they're trying to find something or make something.
Yep. So then as we're dealing with all this, I find out that they had shot him with the rifle. And when we went into the meeting, I told the victim witness coordinator, I can sit in this meeting up until we get to the part where your officers get to the bridge. Because every time I see this image in my head, Marissa, the last image I see of my son is falling to the ground saying, I'm dead. And you hear 3 more fires. Bro, how can you not hear him say, I'm dead? Really? And then DOJ is going to come back and tell me they thought he was playing possum. Really? Playing possum? You shot him 4 times in the upper mass with a rifle. Your officer's been on the department for 15 years. He's ex-military, and you're going to fall for that shit?
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
And all the inconsistencies, the lies, Marissa, the lies. They got him running around in the park at 3:02. They got him running around jumping on shit at 3:15. He was dead at 14:51. How do you got him doing all this shit at that time? They've got him coming at the officer with his hand extended. His arm is never extended. You never see his right hand. And the knife, I sent you that picture.
Yeah.
Supposedly underneath him, there's no blood on it, hardly. His earbuds and his phone were soaked
And while we're talking about the knife, so just for people watching too, so with her son's case, they're trying to be like, it was not a close, super close. Like he had no reason to even use any type of force on Joshua. But then later they say there was a knife there. We know this, that they always need to claim that there was a weapon or they were attacked or charged at. Sometimes they're even willing to say it looked like it or it appeared to be because they know there wasn't a weapon. So what Marcia is explaining just is she shared a picture with me. These are online. Her son's video of his shooting is online. Some of the families have been forced to see these and for them to be everywhere. So the knife just has a little bit of blood on it, but what she's explaining is his other items were drenched in blood because there was so much blood. So how are you going to say, so we're summing it up. We know enough about these killings to know that they plant weapons, that they literally plant weapons, or they'll have the fake guns around. Cops have been known to carry those. And similar thing with my brother's case, there's a knife that wasn't even on my brother's person that is in the documents that they claim he had like somewhere else before he was killed. And that knife is not even recognized. We don't know where that knife came from. People that lived in his home said they had never seen that knife. So it's the same shit. We're over here in Woodland, California, where my brother was murdered. Their loved one murdered over there, Fox Crossing, Wisconsin. We would never know each other. And we have similar things. Sorry for rambling on, but just to
No, Marissa, it's strange because you're saying that your brother, they didn't know where your brother's knife come. I never seen that knife, like I had explained to you earlier. I never seen that knife ever before in my life. I never even knew that knife existed, and he lived with me. And the knife that he typically carried was at my house by the lamp. And that is why I was so adamant that he didn't have a weapon. That's why I was stood firm on that. And then all of a sudden this one appears. And the more I got to looking through the documents, because as you know, it takes us some time, but we start picking through things. And I'm like, I never seen that before. Never. And I asked my daughter the same thing. My daughter has been like, she's watched the unedited body cam footage. I can't, Marissa. I can't even get the YouTube video out of my head. That's all I see. Like, what were his last thoughts? Like,
and that's what people don't understand. People only see the blurred out version that the media posted and that DOJ posted on their website. When people are saying, oh, he's faking it. But in the unedited one, you can tell he's dead, not only because he's not moving, but the fact that his shirt is just soaked in blood. So for people to say, oh, well, he's not dead, you can't tell me you're losing all that blood and you're still alive. Just like when with Mo saying there was other 3 officers were already on their way towards the park, but Mo said that he was not dispatched. They didn't dispatch him. He dispatched himself. And on the other officer's radio, before Mo even got to the park, he said, I'm grabbing my AR. So he had every intention to murder my brother that day.
Wow.
This is all too much. Like, I mean, he didn't need him.
You could have used your service weapon. You could have used your taser. A service weapon. My brother would have had. He would have. If Josh would have got shot with their service pistol, he would have had more chances of survival. They would have took him to the hospital. Well, I'm not saying not always, but majority of the time, he would have most likely had a chance of living than he did with an AR-15, because as the coroner's office said, that first shot, he was dead. That first shot.
I guess I just don't understand why they didn't tase him. There is less lethal force.
He shouldn't have been there, period. Point blank, period. He shouldn't have been there. And the other officers threw him under the bus. saying that he shouldn't have even been there because they had
It
three
was
other
still
officers
justified.
already there.
But it was still justified. Like,
And last time I checked, officers, even if somebody's approaching them, officers are supposed to be taking steps backwards, not towards them.
Yes.
and that's another thing, Marissa. In the video, you can see the officer continuously aggressively attacking at Joshua. He was coming at Joshua. And I honestly, when he says, come on and do it in this video, you can hear him say it, come on and do it. I don't know if he was talking to the officer with the taser or if he was talking to Mo, because Farrell was close enough to know that, yeah, he could have been talking to him, because Joshua probably didn't believe for a second that they were going to shoot him with a rifle in the park. I mean, I just don't understand. I'm so broken. Like, this has destroyed my life.
And then why would the media take a picture of Josh in the body bag while he was in the paramedics? Like, why would they do that? Because they want money. So, let's take a picture of a body in the paramedics that's in a body bag. But it's funny too, because I showed my mom this too. I was like, the bitch of a DA that justified my brother's murder, she prosecuted my brother on his possession of drug charges. So
Wow.
I told my mom, I was like, don't you think that's kind of coincidental how she prosecuted him for his drug charge, and then now that he's murdered, she justifies it?
Me and Marissa were just speaking on that, weren't we, Marissa?
Yeah, so many conflict of interest, and this just seems to be the normal with all of these killings. I think all the families that are on now and have been on the show share similar things, and even like the cops knowing their loved one, and just how you mentioned earlier, he had and you know, there's an incident prior, and I want to just based off of everything you're sharing and the video and everything, it's clear that Joshua was the one, like sister said earlier, you know, he was the one in danger. He was the one by himself being isolated by these people that have they're armed and dangerous. They have a license to kill, heavy military background training. He knows what the fuck he was doing, and all those conflicts of interest. So you guys getting on here and just sharing this, just putting it out there, it's good. Like it's the least we could do right now. Put our stories out there. I've had every time I have people come on, when they post things, I tag the PDs. I send it to them. I put my location at them. I want them to know that these families, they might think they have gotten away with it, but we're still here, and we're going to always be here. We know what they did, putting it on blast. That's one of the purposes of this. And the hope for the future is that sharing all of our testimony, not just your guys' case that is being done.
Everybody's.
All of us. And it matters. It means a lot that the government, they're doing this. They're allowing it because it's not stopping. It makes me, as just a normal person thinking based off of what I know, think that they want people to keep dying, or else cops to be held accountable, and it would be stopping.
Right.
So if you guys want to keep on sharing, I thank you guys for all being here again. It's not easy. And then I do want to share before I give you guys back the mic. There are families and people in here commenting and leaving you guys supportive comments and questions and stuff. So check it out later. But Marcia knows this, but for grandma and for sister, just so you guys know, that's who we have on with us right now. So in case you guys aren't familiar yet. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna stop talking.
Just
You're
like
muted,
Marissa.
Marissa, you're muted.
Just like where is the 7 body cam footage that they have? Where is the 7 dash cams that they have? Where is the 11 witness statements that they have? And the 4 pavilion cameras, where is that? Because the only footage we have is the 6 body cam footages. That's all. But they did they did have the one pavilion footage, but they
But
ended up deleting
it.
it. They deleted it.
They said it had nothing to do with the shooting, but in reality, Marissa, that is the pavilion footage that they deleted is actually the footage that led up to the 911 calls, which it led up to the shooting.
And then, a year later, all of a sudden, here comes Mo getting promoted to Winnebago County SWAT.
Yeah, he got rewarded, promoted to SWAT, and then killed somebody else right after that. Like, I don't understand how these cops are killing our loved ones and getting promotions. I don't get it. Like, if I killed somebody, I wouldn't get a promotion.
And the fact that the minor that said that they seen a black object in Joshua's hand, but they also stated that Josh made the statement to them, "Get back here, motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you." But the pavilion footage that we did see, we didn't see anybody running.
No,
there was like
nobody inside.
There was 3 people. There was an older man on a bike. Then you see Josh trying to go into the bathroom, and you see nobody else after that.
Nope. And that's the footage that got deleted, Marissa.
Oh, and the fact that DOJ put the minor's full name out on the page. The full name. They didn't blank it out or nothing. They put the minor's name out there.
Yeah, they put the minor's name out in our reports.
That's weird. I know all of our witnesses and stuff are blacked out.
Ours is right out there in the open. I just don't understand how. I'm lost. I don't get it. Like,
it goes from a welfare call because the first call was originally because he was acting strange and weird. The lady didn't think that they were going to go kill him. She was just concerned for him. Like, hey, this guy's acting weird. She never said anything about him running up to her with a knife and tapping on her car with the knife, like supposedly the elderly lady, where they said, oh, he went to tap on her car with the toddler with the knife. Well, why didn't she call the police then?
But actually, Katie, it all started, Marissa, at 2:00 in the afternoon is apparently when it started at LNS, which is like 5 miles away, for a welfare check because they thought Joshua went into their building ducking under things, saying somebody was trying to kill him. So that right there was a sign that there was a mental issue.
Wow. So speaking about you guys are sharing he did have mental health issues. You shared that. A lot of people think at this point, everybody knows people that have different type of issues. And people are needing help. So for the cops just to go with the freaking AR and shoot him so quick, it's like, why did you want to kill Joshua?
Like in 28 seconds, he was dead from the time, it took 28 seconds from the time the officer got out of the squad car till the time Joshua was dead, 28 seconds.
Oh, the fact
That's
that
insane.
Crossing,
he didn't even have time to think. Oh, I shared that with Marissa.
Stalking us? Yeah.
Stalking you guys?
Oh, yeah, they were sitting by, I sent you them pictures. They were sitting, I would go to work, they would be sitting there. I would come home from work, they would be sitting there. I'm like, why are you, they killed my son. I didn't kill none of their officers. Why are you sitting in my house?
Just like when you really didn't want to, when Jason didn't come back with the vehicle and you had to call Fox Crossings and you made it clear to them, you better not shoot my child for any given reason. You already shot one, you better not shoot this one.
You do not call the police. You don't call the police in mental crisis, period. Like I did with you. You don't call. You don't call. I dealt with mental crisis. You need family members to deal with family because the police are not your friends. they will kill you. I don't know too many people that have had an outcome where their loved one isn't dead. And 9 times out of 10, or better yet, 10 times out of 10, Marissa, all these people that are dead are in mental crisis.
Yeah. And it's out there. It's known. The public knows, our country knows this is going on, and it's still happening and swiping it under the rug, or they're trying to at least.
Because they all say, Marissa, I was one of these people. I used to say, oh, not my kid. It's not going to happen to me. Be careful what you wish for, because I'm telling everybody you can be, and you probably will. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because you don't know when they're going to strike. They don't care. They just don't give a damn.
So
and
I
want to, of course, we're looking at the pieces. Go ahead, Marissa. What?
I'm sorry. One of the sisters, Anne-Marie, she's just repeating, listen to Marsha's words, do not call the police. And I want to say that again. And if we can all, everybody that's watching and that sees it later, if we can all take something from this specific one, and all of them, but just if you guys can, an action to do after this, at least make a post or remind somebody, do not call the police, even if you share this video, and remind people, because this is how many people are being killed by the police, and families have to live with that after doing that and thinking that it's the right thing to do, because that's what we're taught, but it's not. That's some bullshit. They're the last ones that we want to interact with our family members. We don't want them to beat them up. We don't want them to fucking harm them or kill them. And that's what they do.
And then we're out here, we're left to defend our loved one because they get these false narratives. They've got my son out there to be a knife wielding freak. Anybody that knew my son knew he was probably one of the most kind people ever. Like I said, Marissa, there's nothing he wouldn't do for anybody. Like, I don't understand. You didn't know him. How are you going to put that narrative out there? Like, what about your psychotic officer that ran out of his squad car with a rifle and just started shooting? He didn't even give my son a chance to think, let alone get on the ground. Shit, he didn't even have time to tell him his name or get on the ground. It was get on the ground, and all you can hear is a bunch of bullets going. Like, it's the worst. It's a horrific graph. I just have no words for these people. Every day of my life, I get up and I try to move on with my life. I try to know that this is not the way you want me to live. It's easier said than done. Like, this destroys a person. It destroys a mom. After all my struggles I seen him go through for these fuckers to kill him. Really? And he was still sober when he fucking died. That's the part that kicks my ass. And I'm tired of everybody's toxicology report. That's their famous run-to line. Like, okay, so they all blast all these people's toxicology reports. Guess what happened to my son's toxicology report? It never got mentioned. That bitch never even gave a public, she never went public. She gave a public statement, but she would not go public.
All she said was, my condolences go out to the family. Like, bitch, you knew from day one, once you got all that fucking paperwork that you did not even read through, nor did you even watch the full fucking footage, because if the dumb broad would have actually zoomed in on that fucking video, the body cam footage, because I've zoomed in on that multiple times on the hard drive, on YouTube. I would pause it, screenshot, zoom in. You can't see nothing that posed him as a threat to his dumb ass. So she didn't even bother. She was just like, oh, well, it was justified. He was a threat. He walked towards the officer. So he had every right to do it. And then, like mom said to her, what if that was to be your son? Because you're not going to say that. That won't be your son.
Marissa, you don't even know. I just I went ape shit on all of them. Like I lost my shit on each and every one of them.
And I mean, and like Mom said, she's DOJ, they are wrong in a certain extent for the lies they told. But at the end of the day,
like I told the wallet.
Like I told Mom, I told her they were only there to investigate and write the documents. They are not the ones who physically murdered Josh. They were just there to do what they had to do.
I don't give a shit. I don't like any of them. Where's your brother's wallet?
Oh yeah, and speaking of, so on my brother's CCAP record, his address was updated in May and June. The June update was the 2424 address, but the May one, it wasn't even as Kaukauna.
That's why I'm saying there's the false narratives. DOJ is not your friend. So when your loved one is shot and killed by the police, please don't run to them, because they're just going to fill your head with whatever they think you need to hear to soothe so you're not out creating chaos. They're going to make it so that they're not the guilty ones, but they are just as much the liars as the police that killed your child are. They don't know what the truth is if it bit them in the face.
Thank you for sharing that. And about the DOJ, I know a lot of the Department of Justice, a lot of people when our loved ones are killed, nobody knows what to do. We're like, everybody's trying to tell us what to do, like around us, but really nobody knows what to do when it happens. And then that's one thing that's recommended to a lot of people, to the Department of Justice. And then only some families are able to get the Department of Justice to look at it. But what do we find? That really hasn't been effective in doing anything, because they could see the evidence like that too and then not do a damn thing. That's why I've gotten to the point where
exactly it.
And I got into the point where it's like, okay, yeah, it's the cops that killed my brother. Yeah, it's them. But then it's all the people that are working around them, all the community of these people who are committing different acts of organized crime by trying to cover up our loved ones' murders. And the Department of Justice, they ain't doing shit.
They're part of that clique.
Oh, we got a comment that, I'll read it. We have a few. Sometimes I'll hit a couple, and I see one from Holly Fallon. She lost her son, her teenage son. It's a mental health crisis situation as well, and Colleen. So, Holly, sorry for your loss. I am going to read this comment. She says the police and the DOJ have a vested interest to make you feel as though they are your friends until they turn it around and try to use your own words against you. So another family that has
exactly what they did to me. That's exactly what they did to me. Yep. Because I said Joshua was a recovering addict. They switched my words around. They said I told them that he was taking Xanax. Never did I say that. I'm not the one that put that out there. Never did I tell them that, but that's what they put in there. That's why I'm saying they are not your friends. They put words in your mouth.
Yeah, just like all the comments on Josh's YouTube video where people are making jokes about it, saying, "Oh, did I just hear him say I'm dead?" And this one girl was like, "Well, now I know how not to get shot." I'm like, first of all, when I was 8 months pregnant with my son, I got pulled over in my own driveway. My car was off and everything. I was out of my car. The officer told me, get back in my car. He walks up towards my window with his hand on his gun. 8 months
and
pregnant.
Guess who comes flying out of the house?
So if I would have made one sudden movement, he would have shot me. And then my mom comes out and saying, "What, you're gonna fucking shoot my daughter?" He was like, "Oh, I didn't have any intentions to." What the fuck? You didn't have any intentions? Like, what was that supposed to mean? Like, if I was to grab something, you would have shot me being pregnant?
Wow.
Yeah, in our own driveway, Marissa. In our own driveway. Like, I have people tell me not to say fuck the police. Well, I've lost one child to one. I don't know what that other officer's intent was with my daughter, but I wasn't trying to find out because as soon as I seen him out my driveway, my ass was out in the driveway. Because you're not going to take the life of my child.
And
you can shoot me before you shoot my child.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
And honestly, me personally, I felt like I was getting harassed by Winnebago County in general, because 3 days prior to that, on my way home from work, I get pulled over by Winnebago County sheriffs.
Wow.
They followed me all the way from Appleton to Oshkosh. All the way from Appleton to Oshkosh.
25. Waited till she got off the exit to pull her over.
25-minute drive, Appleton to Oshkosh, followed me.
Wow. And that was before your brother was killed, you said?
No, that was right after.
Oh, I said 3 days. So 3 days after, but it was 3 days before when he had the interaction. So there's too much to just be like, yeah, this wasn't a coincidence, or, you know, that's why hearing these stories deeper with these families, you guys, much where I'm like, wow, this person was totally set up. Like, it's obvious that the evidence is there, the details, and it's hard to get people to listen. But I do believe.
And then let's talk about the lawyers. You know how periodically we get the families that want to talk about the lawyers? Let's talk about the lawyer that had my son's stuff for a year and a half. Never updated me on anything. I'd periodically call him. Finally, one day I called him. I'm like, what's going on? So I told him I'm coming to get my son's stuff. So I went up there to get his stuff. And then conveniently, he couldn't find his phone. Then conveniently, he couldn't find the hard drive. And I told him right away, I'm not leaving until I have these items. Well, I finally got them. And on the back of the police report, he wrote his McDonald's order for his whoever to go. Who writes a McDonald's order on somebody's police report? I don't understand it, Marissa. I'm just lost. I'm like, I don't understand. I'm hurt. I'm devastated. I'll never be the same. They've ruined my daughter. They've ruined their grandmother. They've ruined everybody. And they don't even care. They just go to home.
They'll never care. They never care because
it's another day of business.
Everybody knows that there's there's 3 famous lines that the police like saying. They were in fear for their life. They thought they had a weapon, and they have families to go home to. Well, so the fuck do we?
Right.
Yeah.
You're not the only motherfuckers with families. We got families. They're human. How the hell do you think they got here? Out of the floor?
And we're not the ones all armed up and weapon with this whole gang behind us, ready to kill people. We're right here. Everybody here is women. So to hear they're stalking and harassing you guys after they're doing it to women, that's a common thing we hear on this show, and by victims, the surviving families of victims. They're going after the moms, the sisters, the grandmothers. What the hell?
They don't care about anybody but themselves and their patients.
We just have so many angry families. And like, I wish I could wake up just one day. I wish I could wake up and be happy, but I can't, because I'll forever, Marissa, have a hole in my heart forever and ever that I can never fill, because nobody can take his place.
And there are, as you know, Marcia, all the other mothers on here, everyone's feeling you, everyone. I want to ask, Kathy, do you want to share anything? I know we've been talking and just wanted to see if you wanted to add in anything.
it's been 3 years. I can't watch any of the videos. I can't read the reports. It's hurtful. And I just keep thinking, I don't know how religious people are, but Jesus, he was innocent and he was tortured and put to death, and he was innocent. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kathy, for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Joshua's story needs to be out there. Everybody needs to know this can happen to anybody at any time. You never know when you're going to cross that one officer.
Josh shouldn't be dead, point blank, period. And no other people's loved ones, brothers, sons, daughters, they shouldn't be dead either.
Only if you're a cop, you have the license to kill.
Like Tony said, there should be more mental crisis awareness training for these officers and how to deal with them properly, not just run up, grab their guns, and start blasting away like they're not shit. Because that's basically what he did to Josh. He blasted him like he was a fucking deer in the road.
He gunned him down. Like I said, Marissa, 28 seconds is all it took.
28 seconds.
28 seconds. From the first 911 call to the time he was dead. The very first 911 call came in at 2:48. My son was dead at 2:51. Does that tell you how much time there was?
And then I know we mentioned it briefly earlier, but then just again, this man that did this to Joshua, your loved one, went on to kill another man. And I remember when that happened, and I remember seeing your post, Marsha, and just that's horrible to have to deal with. On top of it, just to know that he's still out there killing after he murdered your son.
To get away with it. Yep, and he's not, and it's not over, Marissa. You know, once they start, it never stops. It'll happen again. Like, I don't get it.
Well, like the victim witness coordinator, she's like, if I see his name come on my desk one more time, I'm not dealing with it.
I told him, Marissa.
I guarantee his name came up on your desk again.
Wow.
But she was very disturbed at what she had seen. Because obviously, you know, the victim witness coordinators are the ones that go through and watch all the videos. She told me right out, she's like, Marsha, if I ever get another Fox Crossings with his name on it, I can't go. There was nothing right about this. I'm like, so why can't one person stand up for my son and say this was wrong? Why do I have to do it alone? Why can't I get somebody in law enforcement to see that this is fucked up?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing right about this.
Gosh. And we know that how many families are impacted. We know that the numbers are just insane and that it's not stopping. We have Gina in here, and she's at the point she doesn't have hope for change. And I know a lot of us feel like that, whether it's an up and down, or we know that we need to still fight, even though we don't see it. It's really hard when you don't see any change. You just see more blood.
Exactly, because the numbers seem to be escalating instead of de-escalating. I mean, you see it all the time now, and it's really I don't see up here anyway how that these people don't see how, you know, these DA, and people don't realize the DAs are the ones that make or break us. And 9 times out of 10, unless it's the officer's wife or child that is killed by him, they're not going to be prosecuted because I call him Agent Jackass. He told me at that point, as of August 1st of 2018, 40 out of 42 shootings were justified. And the 2 that weren't justified were both officers that killed their wives.
Wow.
That was told me right by the Department of Justice. I got some really crazy text messages from that asshole. I got it in black and white, so he can't tell nobody I'm lying. Because I got that shit in black and white, because he himself have said that this shooting was wrong. Okay, well then do something about it. You've got power. But nope, he's sitting back drinking his coffee.
Yeah, because in the documents, they said Fox Crossings were dispatched to response in Fritzy for erratic acting individual at 2:51 p.m. But they said that DOJ responded to the scene and later arrived at 3:50 p.m.
So how could he be standing over the top of my son? My son was dead at 14:51.
They claim that Josh was running away from law enforcement officials, which is not true because obviously the video showed that Josh was minding his own damn business.
Yeah, they've got him running from law enforcement, Marissa, when in reality he was already on the bridge when the cops got there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the lies are, like I told you, the lies, and more. It's a good thing they fucking Pinocchio, because their noses would wrap around the world at least 55 times per person.
Oh my God. That's why, like, I know you ladies probably relate when we hear of new police killings and stuff. We can spot the narratives, the different words being used. And for me, I'm like, I can read an article and be like, yeah, that's bullshit, or I don't believe this, or literally maybe the exact opposite.
And it's fucked up.
The narratives speak it all.
In the statement, in the walkthrough statements that Mo and Farrell did with DOJ, Mo said that he possibly had contact with Josh's blood. Mo stated that he immediately stepped off the bridge when the video showed Mo going back on the bridge with his rifle still pointed at Josh.
Wow.
Yeah. See, this is all stuff, Marissa, I can't see it because that's all on the unedited version. I can't watch that.
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to watch my son die again. When I share his video for some of these families, sometimes I can't watch it. I have to quick share it and be done, because I can't do it. Like, I already know what the outcome is. I already know that it's a vision and a sound that doesn't ever leave your head.
Yeah, just like here on the statement, they said Farrell deployed his taser while another officer removed the knife from Gamal's hands, and another officer handcuffing Gamal because Gamal was still moving and not listening to commands. He was dead. But
I don't understand where that would come from, because they claim that, like I told Marissa, they claim they kicked it out from underneath him. I don't.
Police murder.
It's just too much. I just don't understand. And like I said, finding a lawyer to take anybody's case is like a joke. They're all into. If it wasn't for the police, the lawyers up here wouldn't have a fucking job.
That's a whole different area. Another whole topic with the lawyers that cover these cases. They're like their buddies too. They're just.
But see, it's not a high profile case, so therefore we just get swept under the rug. But trust and believe, they already know. I do it on a daily. I let them fuckers know each and every fucking day I'm still here and y'all still fucking suck.
Yeah.
you guys aren't about justice. You guys are all about trying to see who you can hurt. I'm not Winnebago County's favorite.
I'm gonna just show you something. So here is the outlining of the scene. So
Katie,
there is Josh. Katie, well, no, it's not the picture, it's the diagram.
And Grandma already got.
There's the phone.
Grandma's gone. Marissa?
There's the phone. The knife.
Okay. I don't want her seeing any of this.
The knife is way over here. Josh is here. The knife is way over here. Mm-hmm. And the shell casings are found way over here.
Wow. Yeah.
So what does that diagram tell you, Marissa? I mean, that right there speaks volumes about what really happened.
Yeah.
And like I said, the body cam footage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Even just the body cam footage alone, like you guys have all this. And that's what's crazy is that's what the court of law is supposed to be for, the courts, the justice system. Physical evidence, the evidence should mean everything, but it doesn't when it comes to the police.
That's better than eyewitness testimony.
Yeah, and they don't honor it. They don't care. And it puts the families in this spot. We talk about it. We share. We relate. And then we relate. Like, we know that people know. So what are we to do? I think Crystal is earlier, like, by raising awareness, like, that's how I feel sometimes, that like all I can personally do at this time, it's an uphill battle and we are all fighting, but
trust me, I'm not giving up, Marissa. I'll keep my big mouth running because nobody's gonna tell me to shut up. Y'all killed my baby. That doesn't mean I have to sit down and be quiet. You can't kill me in my own house, and if you do, well, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm not going to stay silent. I will not be known as the one that went to my grave silent about my child.
All right, ladies. Well, we're going to be closing up in a minute, but is there anything else that you guys want to share about Joshua or anything to share with people maybe watching or other?
Just be careful.
I just want to let everybody know that he was a pretty great kid. And I won't give up because I'm not going to let them win. Absolutely not. Marissa, I'm stronger. I have my breakdowns. Don't get me wrong. I have my days, but I will continue my march.
And we're going to be right here with you. Everybody has their days. And this is some abnormal shit. This is not okay that our families are going through this trauma. It's not okay that sister like me has had to replay these videos and see all this crazy shit of our brothers. Mom has had to see the video, live with this. So that's all we can do right now. You're doing good, Marsha. We connected. I don't even know how.
I don't even remember either.
But that's all we could do at this point, I guess, and keep speaking, keep putting it out there. For Voice of Strength, we're going to continue this show throughout 2021. If other families we haven't connected yet, let's connect. Let's get you locked in. We're going to have all of our stories, our testimonies together in one place. It's going to be a nightmare of a library to look at, but when people on the outside look at it, the hope is one day people will start getting fucked. So sorry,
right?
This language, but we're frustrated.
Very, to say the least. It's like we feel like we're on the losing end of the battle.
Every day wake up trying to fight, and we don't even know what that looks like, if it's even in sight, because
if it's even possible. Exactly.
Caitlin,
thank you so much, Marissa.
You're welcome. Anything else, sister, that you want to share before we close up?
all I gotta say is don't give up fighting for your sons, your brother, fathers, uncles, nieces, nephews, anybody who was murdered in the hands of the gang in blue, because that's what I call them, the gang in blue. Don't give up, because at the end of the day, it's us against them. And just remember that even though they're not physically here with you, they are emotionally and spiritually here with you. I got my brother with me every day. I'm thankful for my boys I have, because coincidentally, I've been pregnant. I've been pregnant every the past 3 years. I've been pregnant around my brother's birthday. So that's my brother.
That's your brother's birthday.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that, what you shared. And, you know, as families, we need to have those reminders too. Not just fight stuff, but stuff like that. And signs like that from our loved ones, we cherish them, recognize them, be open to them. And that's how we're going to receive them more. I've gotten things like that too. And I've had the babies too. I haven't gotten on 3 yet, but hopefully that don't happen. Okay.
Hopefully that don't happen.
Hopefully I don't go on the next baby, but yeah, I'm gonna knock some wood, ladies. We love babies though. Okay.
Yes.
Ladies,
yes.
Mom, the mother of Joshua, the sister of Joshua, Grandma was with us to share some words as well. We appreciate you, ladies. We have lots of ladies fighting. So let's just stay connected and keep looking for our loved ones. If you guys, Marsha, as you know, I always tell everybody, and even aside from this show, I let families know if you guys need help sharing stuff, getting signatures, whatever you guys are working on for your loved one's case, feel free. I'm more than happy to share and help out if I can. And the impacted families watching or who will watch later, just keep pushing, keep fighting. We'll be back next week. And until then, we'll all be on Facebook. All right, ladies, you guys have a good night in Wisconsin, and I will here in California.
Have a good night, Marissa.
Thank you. And for everybody watching, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you for supporting this family, uplifting them, and hearing the story of their loved one. We will be back next week. We are going strong with our series highlighting the love that have passed at the hands of police in the United States. All right, Marsha, Caitlin, have a good night, guys.
You have a good night too.
Thank you.